Hi guys, my name is Marlene McCohen and welcome to Storytime Sunday. Thank you for welcoming them. This is Vinny and this is Picasso. And guys, before I go on, I want to let you know that I'm going to be going live on Instagram at 3 o'clock my time. I think that's in like literally less than an hour. Hopefully I get this video up before I go live. But anyway, that's on Instagram, and my Instagram name is @Marlene McCohen. So even if you're seeing this video late, just remember you can follow me @Marlene McCohen at Instagram because I will be doing live videos there for you guys. The reason I wanted to do that was because sometimes it's really hard for me to answer all of your questions. Literally, the truth is my wrist just hurts when I'm trying to answer them all, and I have so many videos up there now and there's so many questions, but I really want to help you guys. I hate when I can't help you, so I'm going live on Instagram, and I'll just do that sporadically from now on, probably without YouTube warning, and maybe I'll go live on YouTube too. So guys, let's get to Storytime Sunday because of course we're going to be seeing you guys in a little bit. So today, Storytime Sunday is going to be about how I got Picasso. It's kind of a sad story and a happy story all at once. The reason Vinny's in this video is because he was flying all around the bathroom. He wants to get in that closet where he knows there's shoe boxes. My other birds are also in here with me today. I have Cody, who is chewing up a box, so you might hear like, and that's what Vinny wishes he was doing. And of course I have Jersey sitting on top of the shower chilling. So today we have the story of how I got Picasso. Are you preening yourself right now? So I had a mustache parakeet named Malibu, very beautiful, also a male like Picasso. Malibu was flighted. I was flight training him. The reason I wanted him to fly was because I didn't feel like he had any confidence in his flying abilities. I don't know who clipped him before I got him, but his wings were uneven. That's really never a good idea to clip your bird with uneven wings. I've heard people doing that, but it's not a good idea. So he would just fly and like fall and hit things. So I really liked the idea of when his wings were growing out, I really liked him being flighted. And then he was so funny, like he used to fly into my room, steal my jewelry and fly around with it. He was just so hilarious. So one day he flew away and I could never find him. And it was really sad. I was devastated. I mean, I'm talking about like devastated for a year or so. But I never stopped looking for him. So while I was looking for him, that group I told you guys about, Parrots 911, they had contacted me every time they found a mustache parakeet that didn't have a home that they thought could be my bird, Malibu. And the reason I'm not going into how Malibu was lost, but I'll tell you this because I know you guys are going to ask me. I had a visitor. The visitor went outside on my balcony and the bird didn't want to leave. Obviously, the bird wanted to follow him and missed him, and they were building a new building nearby, and so I don't know, he just flew, but he could fly so well that he probably, hopefully, either went to somebody and found a home or became part of a flock. By the way, there is a flock of ringneck parakeets nearby, so maybe he became one of the flock, but it's more likely that somebody found him and gave him a good home. So in the middle of all this, I was desperately looking for my bird, putting up ads on Craigslist, looking through all the lost bird sites. This was a while ago, so there were no apps back then or anything like that. And Parrots 911 contacted me and they said, we found a mustache parakeet. He's a male. He could be yours. It's about like 70 miles away. And I'm like, wow, that's far, but okay. And they're like, do you want to go and see if he's your bird? So I got all excited and I went, and it was at a pound. And the lady brought out Picasso, and I just knew the moment I saw him that his head was bigger than Malibu's. Your head just looks so big, Picasso. I don't know why. They always want lipstick. Your head was just so big that I knew you weren't my bird. But also, he had a band. And Malibu didn't have a breeder band on him. So I was like devastated, but I was also very nervous. And it had been like at least 6 months, maybe a year. No, it had been a year because I already had George by then. And I said, can you please just tell me if maybe you could call the vet that I had previously taken Malibu to and see if he had a band, because I don't remember Malibu having a band, but I was so nervous and so upset by the loss of Malibu that I didn't even ask to hold Picasso. I wanted to hold him so bad, but I didn't want to look eager. I didn't want to look like some bird thief either. I was just like so upset. So they called the vet, and the vet said, my bird did not have a band. I knew it wasn't my bird anyway. It looked nothing like him. I mean, even though a normal person would say they look exactly the same. So they said, we're going to take your number because not a lot of people know how to deal with mustache parakeets. And if we don't find him a home in the next few months, we're going to call you. So I went home all sad, 70 miles home. He's not my bird. And I went back to my life. Now, here's what happened. Every so often, like I had like my own phone bill. I wasn't on a family plan. This is relevant, believe me. And every so often my phone would get cut off because I wouldn't pay the bill, and my parents would try to call me, panic that they couldn't get in touch with me, call the phone company, pretend to be me, and pay the bill. So sometimes this would happen in the midst of me being literally in class, and I'd get out of class, I'd be in acting class for like 3 hours, and then I'd get out and my mom would be like, your phone was disconnected, and don't worry, we already connected it. So like I don't know, sometimes I had the money, sometimes I didn't, sometimes I had the money and sometimes I was lazy. I just didn't know how to deal with these kind of things. I know it's terrible, but this is the true story. So 3 months later, right before Christmas, I get this phone call from a weird number, and I answer it. And I say hello, and they say, Marlene? And I say, yeah. And they say, hi, we're from the animal shelter. You came a few months ago and met this bird. And look at him, the height of the story, he knows. And no one has come to for him, and we want to give him a good home, and we would love for him to go home before Christmas. And I'm like, oh my God, the bird needs a home before Christmas. And they said usually we would cost half the price of the bird. Like, let's say a bird like this is like $450, $500 here. We would give it to you for like $200, but we know that you lost your bird and we'd rather him go to a good home. We'll give him to you for $70. I don't even know if I had a spare $70 at that moment, but I was like, okay. And I was like, he needs a home, so I'm gonna go get him, right? And I drove down there. Actually, no, first I asked her, I said, is he friendly? She goes, oh yeah, he cuddles in my shirt all day long. And I'm like, so why don't you want him? Like, if he's bonded to you? She's like, no, well, you know, I have other pets at home, and he's only here at the shelter. So me and my friends, we drove down there 70 miles. We made it a day trip, and we went and picked him up. And I brought like a carry-on cage, a small cage, and I took him home. And I had a cage for him already because remember, Malibu flew away. So I took him home and I brought him to that cage. And every night I used to, after I put George to bed, sneak him out and get some alone time with him. For those of you who don't know, George was my African gray, so that I would bond with him. And eventually George and him bonded as like buddies. He didn't try to make out with George like he does with Jersey, as you guys saw, but they bonded and they became really, really good friends. And he became my little love bug. You see him? Oh, I love him so much. I'm crazy about this bird, like just crazy about him. Like, you know how the birds like can drive you nuts all day long? I mean, in a good way, but also in a crazy way. And then you get him to bed and you're like, oh, yes, peace and quiet, they're in bed. And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I miss Picasso. If I could just snuggle with Picasso while watching this movie. So, you know, that's how it goes. I love him so, so much. So it was amazing. And I had just George and him for a very long time. And I think I started making YouTube videos that long ago, like 9 years ago, just of George. There he goes. And not really informative videos, just videos monitoring George. So that is the story of how I got Picasso. I love him so much. He's my little baby. And that is it, guys. I hope you like that story. Share stories of how you got your birds. He is so happy. He's such a happy bird. I love him so much. I don't even know why I got started talking about him. I'm just crazy about this bird. But I know that Jersey's gonna scream in a few minutes because I can just sense it. And Vinny is going crazy. So I'm gonna sign off now, and I'm gonna see you guys in a little bit, right? Because we're gonna do our live Instagram. So follow us, guys, at Instagram, at Marlene McCohen, at Twitter, at Marlene McCohen. And of course, subscribe, guys, because we love subscribers, and I love knowing that you guys love and care about your birds so much. So that is all, guys. Bye.